Let's go. Yeah. I really got the feeling today that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about. Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout. Let's go. Let's go. Nothing's gonna stop us today. Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on. So turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of IoT Tuesday. My name is Samuel Adranyu, yours truly, bringing you goodness in IoT and the world of technology. In today's episode, I will be talking about how to build and deploy a very basic UWP application on Raspberry Pi running on Windows 10 IoT Core. When we come back, that's what we will be talking about. Awesome! So we're back. Welcome again to IoT Tuesday. If you don't know what the show is about, it's a show that runs every Tuesday, 8 p.m. GMT. And all I do is that I talk about IoT, I show you how to do stuff on IoT, I demo how to do stuff on IoT. IoT connected to Microsoft Azure Cloud, and pretty much anything have to do with IoT. Last week we talked about Azure Sphere, we saw how to set it up. Um, and this week I wanted to show you how to deploy a Universal Windows application on the Raspberry Pi 3 running Windows IoT 10 Core. Now, it's a slight deflection because once we do this, it would enable you to know how to build your own graphical UI for the Raspberry Pi on top of the Windows IoT Core and the .NET framework. And then in subsequent episode, I'll show you how to actually create UI that targets the various GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi. Yes, now last week I showed you how to actually deploy to set up your Azure Sphere, but today I'll show you how to deploy an application on the Raspberry Pi. If there is time, I'll also show you how to deploy an application on the Azure Sphere as well. So this is what we will be playing with. So as you can see, I have my Raspberry Pi set up right now here. And this is just an LED, LCD screen that is showing the Windows running. I can actually show you that now. So what you're seeing here is Windows IoT 10 Core running on the Raspberry Pi. Yeah, so this is happening running on the Raspberry Pi. So what we want to do now is to create a very simple Windows Universal Windows application app and deploy on this device. Now, before we do that, let me get a few things out of the way. Yes, so don't forget Global AI Bootcamp hosted by the hosted by the Account.net user group is happening on the 14th of December 2019. Make a date with us, register, join. We're going to have about 5 sessions and 6 hands-on labs. So join us. They're going to be free Azure passes. There's going to be breakfast. There's going to be some really interesting things going on. So make sure you make a date with us and join. I will put the link in my description. Don't also forget to make a date with me on Friday for Functions Friday. And then it's official. I will be speaking at the MCT Tech Summit in Abuja, Nigeria from the 5th to the 7th of December. I will be in Abuja a bit earlier because we're running a pre uh, conference event on AI. I'll be leading a pre conference workshop or session on AI, so I'll be there a bit earlier. So, hey, if you happen to be in Abuja between the 2nd to the 7th of December, you can, say hi to me when you see me. And then this Saturday, our friends from the Microsoft user group are doing the second part of the Microsoft Office 365 bootcamp. I will be there. I'll be speaking on actionable messages. So if you happen to be there, say hi when you see me. Now, with all those housekeeping things out of the way, let's get right into it. Awesome. So, like I was mentioning, I was saying earlier on. So we have a Raspberry Pi here connected to this screen showing. Let's see if I can adjust this a bit so you can see that. Yep. And we have the Azure Sphere, which, if time permits, I'll also show you how to deploy an application on the Azure Sphere that controls the onboard LEDs right here. If there is time, I'll try to do that. All right, no problem with that. Now, the focus of today's episode or today's show is on the um, Raspberry Pi. So let's get right into it. Let me pull these things here and let's see. Let's see what's happening. All right, so welcome if you have just joined us. This is IoT Tuesday. How has your day been? Anyone doing anything interesting? Yep. So you might be asking, so what is the universal Windows application or universal Windows platform application? So the universal Windows platform is obviously created by Microsoft, and what it is that it's kind of like a general universal, a general platform or framework they are building that allows you to build application once and deploy to multiple cross-platform environments. So it uses XAML. So the idea is when you use UWP and you build application, you can deploy it on all the devices that Microsoft supports. So for instance, you can write a UWP application and deploy it on an Xbox, deploy it on a Windows Phone, deploy it on Windows 10, deploy it on any of the host or environments that is running .NET Core. So that's the idea behind the Universal Windows Platform a framework. So that is what we'll be using. Now let me show you. Let me move this here so I can show you a few things. I want to show you the link where if you're interested in doing IoT specifically for the Microsoft platform, this is where you want to go. So if you are a .NET developer, all right, let's switch here. If you're a .NET developer, and then you are interested in building Universal Windows Platform applications for IoT devices, this is your go-to website. Now, the reason why I chose this is that it allows me to deploy the application on multiple environments, but a lot of people have been asking. So, yes, we know what IoT is. It's just devices, sensors, and all that. But the key question has been, how do I how do I deploy or how do I create a UI? So for instance, in the picture you're seeing, there is a thermostat and there's a UI in there, or like a microwave which is IoT enabled, there's a UI. So how do I create a UI for all these environments? Now, that is what you can do using Universal Windows applications and building your own UI on top of the Windows 10 IoT core and then running on a Raspberry Pi or any compatible microcontroller system. All right, you can do that. Now, you can also build, let's say, web applications that read data from some of these microcontrollers, and then you can build a UI based on the data you're getting from this sensors or this microcontroller boards. So there are multiple ways to go about it, but if you're a .NET developer with C Sharp and some XAML knowledge, this is the easiest route and the fastest route you can go. You have your Windows IoT 10 core running on your Raspberry Pi, and then you can deploy just about any UWP application on it. So for us, that is what we are going to do today. So let's see how that works. So to do that, I'm going to open Visual Studio as always, because we're using Visual Studio to do the deployments. I'm going to open Visual Studio. Let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Ba-da-da-da-dum bum. Ba-da-da-da-dum bum bum bum. Yep, 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 yep. And then, oh, let's move this here. So, as usual, once you come here, you can, create a new project. So I'm going to click create new project, and I'm going to select universal. So there's a universal Windows blank. That's what I want. I want to put it in this IoT folder, and I want to call it um, 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 IoT UI demo. All right, and then create. Now, because let's switch here quickly. Let me show you something. Now, if you look here, let me bring it up here. Right now, yes, if you look at the OS version running on the Raspberry Pi, it's 10.0. Um, 0.17, 66. So I need to make sure that whatever, um, actually, let me go here. Yeah. So I need to make sure, let's see. I think my Zoom it is here. Yeah, let me open Zoom it. Yeah, okay. So I think it's Control 1. Yeah. So this is just to make it a lot clearer for you to see. So right now, the minimum version should correspond with the OS I have on the Raspberry Pi. So my minimum is 1766, but the minimum showing here is 17763. So I need to make sure that I'm actually picking a version that is a bit lower. So in my case, that'll be 1713. So I need to make sure the minimum, that's the minimum. Yep. So I select that and then allow it to, scaffold and create its own. Yeah, we're having one of these Visual Studio moments. Okay. Yep. Allow access. Yeah, that's because usually because of the stream, um, I need to disable a few things just to allow. Oh, there's an update. Not now. I won't do this during live stream. I'll run the updates when I'm done with the live stream. Okay, so this is just a basic invalid argument. This might be a problem. I might have to probably close and start again. But hey, we're just going to forge forward with this. So let me give you a little tour. Let's see if I can zoom this. Okay. So this is a solution structure. You have your assets that will go in here. You have the app, which is kind of like the entry point, and then you have your main page. That's your very first page. All right. So what we're going to do is that for the purpose of this, I'm going to just create a very basic and simple timer. All right. I'm going to create a very basic, simple timer, and what that timer is going to do is that it's going to just show the time. It's just an application that shows the time, and then we'll see how to run that on the Raspberry Pi. Let me do this. I think I'm going to close this again and start it because of that href thing that I'm having. I just want to I just want to be safe. I don't want it to have any consequences for the demo. So that's what I am going to do. So let's do this. Let me quickly do that. Uh, well, let's run this again. Where is that? Where is that? Yep, let's start this again. And we already created the solution. It's I think IoT UI demo. So let's just open that because we've already created that. Hopefully I don't get that H craziness again. Pum. Okay, awesome. Project loaded and ready to suite. Okay, so let's go to the main. Like I mentioned, this is just this is like a screen, like the one screen of the application. So if you're creating your UI for an IoT project that had multiple screens, like a home automation system and all that, you might create multiple screens. But for the purpose of this stream today, we're just creating a simple timer. So let's do that. So I'm going to double click on this to open it. This is like scaffold. This is how it looks like. All right. So I'm going to do a few things. No, let's actually open the XAML page first. So these are all namespaces calling various schema standards and access to and giving us reference to Blend and some other frameworks or libraries that you use in creating XAML applications. But this is the definition of the UI in a grid format. I'm not going to go into XAML today. We'll skip that. If you're interested or you want me to do something on XAML, just thumbs up or something, and I'll create a video on that for you. But here, what we're going to do is we're going to create a simple text block. A text block is like a label, so to speak, in other, in let's say forms or other languages. So we're just going to create a text label that's going to display the time. So we're going to use a text block. That's what we're going to use. What's the name? We're going to call it display text. Did I spell that well? Text block. All right, we'll call it a display text block. Let's give it some horizontal alignment. I want it to be aligned to the left. Let's see. Can I make this big? Yeah, great. So you can see that well. Sorry. So align that horizontally to the left. Let's give it a margin. A margin is just spaces around it. Use top 63 left 0 right left. Okay. Text wrapping. How do I want it? I want it to wrap. So if the space is small, just wrap and put it right there for me. This is really not, you know, nothing. I just want to format it a bit, nothing crazy. The text, I'll leave it blank. Let's do some vertical alignment. I'll align it to the top of my UI. What else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, let's give it a height. I will say, let's say 150. Let's say no, a width. A width of probably 177.9 or maybe 170. Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I can adjust it when I'm debugging it. So, and then let's do font size. Let's say 150 because let's make it a bit bigger. And that's it. So we've created, so this is just a simple page with a very simple text block, which is going to be like a label to display. Now let's go to the code behind for this. Let me create a variable here, and this will be a timer. So let's say dispatch is a dispatch timer. I'll call this a timer. And now we've entered the realms of C sharp. Then after my application has initialized, I can see the timer is actually a new dispatch timer. Those who have done C sharp, you know this. So we're setting the timer. Now, what's the interval for the timer? Let me use a time span dot from milliseconds. No, seconds is not. Let's use milliseconds. Yeah, and then let's use 1,000. So like every second I want it to, that's the interval every second. All right. Now let's call that tick. So timer dot tick. Like how often should that happen? Plus equals. Let's create. Let's delegate. Let's create a function to do that. Yep. I like that function. Time ticker. And what I want this to do is that anytime it ticks, so it's going to tick every second. It's going to tick. Now when it ticks, I want to call a method called get time. I haven't created that yet, so don't worry. Thanks to IntelliSense, I can create, just click here and say create that. That's done for me. And what happens anytime you call get time? So it means that anytime it ticks, what's the tick interval? The tick interval is what? Every second. So every second when this tick happens, we are calling get time. And what's the definition of get time? Now get time is quite simple. We're going to create a date time object called dt, which is going to be equal to datetime.now. Thank you. And then once we do that, we just say what? Our display text box. Remember, this is the name. This is the name we gave to our text blocks here. Display text block. This one right here. This one. So we say that dot, let's set the text, right, is equal to this datetime object dot to string. Let's push it to string. And I wanted to format it in the format hour, minute, and then second. All right. That is it. So that is my super cool app and what I want to deploy on to my Raspberry Pi. But to do that, I need to test it. So let me just go here and click, make sure it's local machine, and click here on the test. Blah 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 blah. Run run run. Build will build. If there's any error, it's going to tell me. I see some red squiggly, but hopefully, what is it saying? It says that what the type was not found. Verify that you are two missing assembly. Oh, it's gonna deploy that any which way. It's gonna work. All right. So let's see. Let's see what happens. So I'm testing my app and making sure that the app is running. That's all I'm trying to do. All right. So let me push this up here and see. Oh, 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 oh. I know I did something terrible. Yeah, the reason why it's not showing is that after I have set it, I need to start the timer. Sorry about that. I needed to start the timer. So now let me run it again. Let's see. Start the timer, start the timer, start the timer, start the timer, start the timer. Yeah, there you go. Yep, 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 yep. So we have the application running. So this right now, I could deploy this to, let's say, an Xbox. I could actually deploy this to a HoloLens. Yes, that's the power of using UWP because you can deploy it to, any platform. You can deploy it to any platform that supports, that's running the Microsoft framework. So, yep. So that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. So right now we have the application. This is a super cool application. I can go and add, crazy things to it, but let's keep it simple. Once you understand this concept, you can actually build any universal Windows platform application and deploy it on your Raspberry Pi. That's what I want to teach you. I want to show you today. So I'm using a simple timer to do this. Now that we have this running, let's see how we can get it onto our what? Raspberry Pi, right? So let's go. So let's show you how that is done. So to do this, I need to make sure a few things are set. First of all, I need to change this to the ARM template, all right? And then because the Raspberry Pi is on the same network, right? So because the Raspberry Pi is on the same network as my working machine, my Windows laptop right now, I can debug or I can publish straight to it. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to select here remote machine and this pops up. Yes, I want to allow access to it. So this pops up and asks me to put in the address. But if you look closely, it has actually auto discovered that I have a remote device on this IP address on it. Let's go and check if that's true. If you check closely, if I scroll up here for you, that's it, 100.8. And if we come back here, it's the same thing we have here as 100.8. So I can select this, and yeah, it's telling me that because authentication is universal, it's on unencrypted protocol. It's saying that that could be harmful or suspicious, but it's actually my own thing, so I can go ahead and accept that. So I select this, and what's happening is that it's now connected to this, and it's ready to deploy or debug. So I can debug my code live on Raspberry Pi running Windows 10 IoT Core right from Visual Studio. Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to click run, and then let's switch to our Raspberry Pi. Um, I should create a split screen so you can see my main screen and then the Raspberry Pi screen. I think I should do that. Where is my Jota? Yep, I'm going to do that. I think I need to create a split screen so that you can see my Raspberry Pi and the screen anyways. So whilst that is deploying, yes, it's registering the app. Actually, I can, yeah, let's just show you what's happening here so that when it's done, we can flip back to the Raspberry Pi and see how that works. Okay, it's deploying. It is deploying. It is deploying. Something is happening. Oh, well, we are done. Now, look at that. We have the application running on the Raspberry Pi. Isn't that awesome? Moment of silence. Yes, it is awesome. And that is how you deploy a universal Windows platform application on the Raspberry Pi, right? That's how you do it. Simple. Simple and awesome. So that's how you do it. So that's how we've been able to deploy this application we created in Visual Studio, deployed it onto the Raspberry Pi, and it's currently running. Isn't that awesome? That is as simple as it can get. So that is how you run that. So let's see, do we have some time if I can show how to run on the Azure Sphere? Well, let's see. So let me stop this for now and open the code for, I think, so I'm going to close this solution. And I think I created one for Azure Sphere. Blink, 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 blink. Blinky, 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 blinky. Let's select this. So I want to also I want to show you a code I wrote to just to deploy something very basic onto the Azure Sphere. Now this is a C, so it's not C sharp. So here, let's go into the manifest. So we explained that if you remember the last time when I was talking about the Azure Sphere, I made mention of the fact that one of the cool things about Azure Sphere is that you can actually enable GPIO pins. You can actually tell your application that these are the only GPIO pins my application has access to. All right. So that is stated in the app manifest for deploying onto Azure Sphere. All right. Now I'm just showing this briefly. This is not. It's just that we have time, so I just want to show this. So if you look at this, it's telling us that the capabilities of this application we want to deploy only has access to GPIO pin 15, 19, and 20. And let me show you something. You understand why it's 15, 19, and 20. Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Do 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 boom, boom, boom. Let's open this. I'm just going to show you the. So again, all right, let's go back so you see GPIO pins what 15, 9, and 20. All right, 15, 9, and 20. 15. So 15, 9, and 20. All right. Where is that? So if you look at the Azure Sphere reference diagram, all right, it shows you here, right? It shows you the various LEDs. So these are the four user RGB LEDs, 1, 2, 3, and 4. They are RGB, but to turn them on and off, you need to know what GPIO pin corresponds with what color. So for instance, let's see, let me open this up. The 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 red the red I think is pin 9, and the blue for the RGB2 I think is 19, and so on. So you need to have a reference, the reference for the board, and then you can target it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just telling this code that I'm allowing it to use 15, 19, 15, 9, 20, which corresponds to RGB. So 9 is the red color on LED1, RGB LED1, and I think green is 15 for LED2, and then green is LED3 and it's on pin 20. So that's what I'm doing. I'm allowing that. So it's simple as that. Now we come to the main.c file. So all I'm doing is, first of all, I'm setting those pins. I'm initializing them within the code, saying that F9 is corresponding to GPIO pin 9, and then it's an output, push or pull. I can send and receive from it, and the default value is high. Now, if you've been doing IoT for a while, you know that basically pulling a pin high or low determines, like, either send signal or receive signal. So high is telling it, turn on the signal, sorry, and the low might be turn off the signal. So that's all we're doing. So we're defining the three pins, which is what, 9, 15, and 20. Okay, and all I'm doing here, I'm just checking to make sure that if the pins you've specified are not in the manifest, we need to tell the person that error opening these GPIO pins, because you are not allowed to use these pins in the manifest. All right, now we're specifying a timer. And all we're doing is that, now, while this is true, it's going to just alternate. It's going to set 9, it's going to turn it on, sleep for a while, turn it off, sleep for a while, turn the next color on, sleep for a while. So that is just a very basic application. So if you've done IoT, this is how you would be creating, how do you call it, your application running on the Raspberry Pi. Sorry, running on the Azure Sphere. So let's see if we can get the Azure Sphere also to deploy an app, and then we would be set in this episode of IoT Tuesday. All right, so I'm going to plug this right here. Okay, great. Let me take you to the bench. And let me push the Raspberry Pi a bit here. Now, so as you can see, so you realize that it is running the application I deployed. So you can see it turns it, you know, red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green, which is simple, which is all I have done here. Because I have the reference. Actually, um, let me find this so that it's a lot clearer to you guys. So let's say Azure Sphere reference guide. Yeah. Let's see. No, this has to be on the Microsoft side. So Azure Sphere. Let's look at the. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to look at the documentation. I think I remember it's on the. It's on the reference. Develop device deployment, application development, how to reference, yes, resources, okay, yes, reference board design. This is what we need. Okay, where is that? MD reference board, user guide, programming, debugging interface, board user guide. It's one of them. Awesome. So this is it. So this is what I was talking about. Let me zoom in a bit. Okay, so you can see that if we go back to the, let me go back, let me just bring you here. So if you look at the, if you look here, all right, where the lights are showing, let's see if I can, let me see if I can use my finger to get it focused. Well, this is not autofocus, so. Okay, so from here, all right, from here, you can see that there are 4 RGB LEDs, 4 of them. All right. Now, the 4 RGB, they are RGB meaning there's red, blue, green. So each LED you are seeing there has the capability of showing either red, blue, or green. So each of the LEDs there has 3 different colors. Now, that means that if you want to target the red for, now let's go here. Now, so that means that for the LED 1, if you want to target the red color, you need to either turn the GPIO pin what? 8, either high or low. Is that okay? In the same thing, so if you look at it, so for pin 1, it is green, right? For pin 1, it is green. So right now, if you look at, if you go back to the board, you can see that it's what? So for pin 1, I'm turning green on. So for pin 1, green is GPIO what? 9. So that is why in the code, I'm turning GPIO what? Let's go to the app manifest. That's why I'm using GPIO what? 9. Is that okay? So I'm turning the green on. If you go to the second pin, what are we turning on for the second pin? We're turning blue. We're turning, no, sorry, red. We're turning the color red for the second pin. And red is GPIO pin what? 15. 15. So that is why in the app we're using what? 15. And in the third one, we are turning green. And if you look at the manifest, green is what? Where is that? Green for the third one is 19, right? 19. That is why we're using, sorry, 20, 20, 20. Yes. Yeah, where is it? 3, 3, 3. Yeah, 20. Blue. Blue for it is 20. So that is why we were using those colors in the manifest. So that is how to create applications and deploy. Now, to deploy for, um, let's say, okay, let's change the application so that you can see that I it's not a pre-made thing and easy to do. Now, to deploy, okay, to deploy, what you need to do is that you need to put how do I say? You need to put the device in development mode. All right. So now that we have it connected, let's go open our Azure Sphere command prompt so we can connect to it. Let's go here. Yeah. And if you remember, we do Azure Sphere. Uh, uh, Login. And then we have to log in just to make sure, authenticate and authorize that we are okay. Sign out and sign in with a different account. We do that. That should log us in. And yes, we've logged in, and then, yep, so I'm clearing that. Okay, so what I need to do is AZ or Azure Sphere device. Let me do this. Pa, 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 pa. So, show deployment. No, not deployment status. Uh, yes, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, I'm looking for this one. EDV, enable development or EDV. All right, so let's do that again. So I can do this EDV. Now, what this does is it puts the Azure Sphere device into development mode. All right, and what that means is that the application is ready to receive um, changes. All right, there we go. And it stops the application from receiving any security updates or any OS updates because you are deploying, you want to deploy something, on it. So if you look closely, it's installing the debugger server to device that allows us to deploy an application onto it. And now that I have, yep, so that's sorted. So it's ready to receive. If we go back to the dashboard, if you go back to it, you can see that, um, let's go here. You can still see it's running the old application where it's showing what it's cycling. All right, it's cycling red, blue, and green from this side, as you can see that. But let's change that. Okay, so let's come down here. Yeah. Uh, okay, so let's come down here. And let's see if we can make some changes. So 9, let's just leave green. Okay, let's just say we are leaving green. So let's go back and look at it. So let's say green for pin 1. We're already using GPIO pin 9, okay, which is green for pin 1. So we just want green for pin 1. So we're only going to use GPIO pin 9, all right? So let's go ahead. This is 9. So let's just comment this out, 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 and comment this out. So all it's going to do is that it's going to turn it on, turn the green on, all right, turn it off, sleep for a while, and like we don't want it to sleep too much. So let's do that. So yeah, turn it on, sleep for a while, turn it back on. So I'm going to save this as my change, and then all I will do, make sure it is arm debug, yes, and then just push it. Um, ho 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 ho. Let's see. Ba-ba-bum. Oh yeah, make sure you have GDB debug set. All right, else you can't push it to the device. So, oh, sorry, you're not seeing that. So this is it. I'm just going to hit debug here. And then, so all we've done right now is I've disabled all the all the pins and I've only left the green one. All right. So now, if everything goes well, what's going to happen is it's only going to flash the green. It's no longer going to flash the blue and all that. As you can see, yeah, it keeps it on. It's just showing that. Okay. As you can see from here, yep, 9 high, pause for a while, and then 9 low. Okay, so right now it's not showing all the other ones. Let me do this. Let me just restart this. Sometimes it takes a while for the the new code to just pick up. Nano sleep. Oh, yep, 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 yep. Okay, yep. There you go. So we changed that. Now, if I stop this, all right. If I stop it, okay. Oh yeah, sorry, we had a bug. Yeah, there was a comma here, a semicolon. Sorry. Uh, Poop, 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 poop. So let's deploy this again. Deploy, 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 deploy. And if everything goes well, loading the symbols, give it a bit of a time. Oh, it opens and it doesn't go to sleep. That's why. Uh, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop this. And then let's save this. And let me deploy this again. And let's go to the bench. Okay, there we go. Look at that. We have our new application running on the Azure Sphere. We changed our code, we deployed it onto the Azure Sphere. Now, next week on IoT Tuesday, what I'll do is that I'll show you how to connect a sensor, probably the relay, how we can use the relay to trigger an external, like, a high voltage device like a fan or a light, and then also how to use the temperature and sensor as well to connect to it and potentially send data to Azure IoT Hubs. So, with that said, this has been another thrilling episode of IoT Tuesday. If you like it, subscribe to it's here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Subscribe, 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 subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my Twitch channel, connect with me on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I'll respond. I like to try new stuff. I like to, get into complex solutions and try to solve them. So, if you like what you see, tell a friend to tell another friend to tell another friend to subscribe and join. Click the alert button so that when I drop any video or I have any program coming out, you're going to know. So let us know. Keep your feedback coming. Let's know how to make the show a better one for you. Until then, this has been yours truly, Samuel Adranyi, with IoT Tuesday.